What? Oh, but it get it. Oh, happy Friday, everyone. So a couple of serendipitous things sort of happened here. One, I was in the middle of working on a video. Actually, come check this thing out. So this is the Gpd Pocket 2. Now, naturally, my efforts to make my video about it today have been interfered with by Windows Update. So it's been installing this update for the last, well over an hour now. But, you know, it's chugging along there at 17%, so that's pretty good. And then I realized that our Surface Go care package from Microsoft actually arrived. And what's interesting about these two devices is that while they might not really look very similar on the surface, really? Nothing. Nothing, thank you! While they might not look very similar on the surface, under the hood, they are actually more comparable than you might think. So the Surface Go is using, what is it, a 4415Y processor. What do you like, Brendan? Do you like the unboxing on black or the unboxing on wood grain? Which do you prefer? You like the wood grain? All right, we're gonna do the wood grain. So it's got a 4415Y processor, 4 gigs or 8 gigs of RAM. It's got 64 gigs or 128 gigs of storage, a claimed 9 hours of battery life, and well, this one's got a very tablet-like form factor. So all of those specs are actually really similar to this guy right here. So this is running an M3 7Y30 CPU, which sounds really different from a Pentium Gold 4415Y. But in terms of the specs, this one's got a base clock of I think only 1 gigahertz, but runs at about 1.5 to 1.7 most of the time, whereas this one has a base clock of 1.6. They're both dual-core, quad-threaded processors, and I don't know how this one turbos yet, but this also comes with 4 or 8 gigs of RAM, and I think it starts at 128 gigs of storage. So the pricing for that is about $600, and then the pricing for a Surface Go with the 8 gig RAM spec and 128 gigs of storage is about $549. So the question becomes, would you rather something more tablety with a bigger screen that has what I've always kind of referred to as, with tablets, an uncarryable form factor? Or would you prefer something that's similar in spec, but that will fit in your pocket? Because that's their whole jam with this thing, is that you can actually fit it in your pocket. And I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want it to go to sleep in the middle of a Windows update. But there's my pocket, and that's kind of where it would go. You know, maybe we can do it later when it's done doing Windows updates. So while this gets started with the whole initialization process, we can kind of walk through the physical aspects of this device. I'm actually really impressed with it so far. Like, it doesn't have, it's a funny thing about the feeling of a device, because sometimes, like with a shoe, you know, you might pick up a shoe and go, wow, this is really light. Like, this is quality. This is going to be great for jogging. And then, you know, other times you might pick something up and go, yeah, oh, okay, sure. You know, it's here, something like a piece of audio equipment. You know, like if you picked up something like an XLR interface device, and oh, Cortana, shut up. Look, I will deal with you later, Cortana. So if you pick up something like an XLR interface and it's really light, it feels like, oh, well, you know, I paid $200 or $300 for this and there's nothing inside it. That sucks. That's cheap. This manages a really, really nice middle ground where it actually feels light. The device is only about half of a kilogram, but it doesn't feel cheap. So it's got the same metal, I think it's some kind of magnesium alloy that they always use on Surface devices here. And then it's got kind of like a two-tone finish to it with the webcam up here. And then it's got, okay, so this is according to Microsoft anyway. It's got a Surface grade kickstand, but I haven't actually tried it yet. Yeah, the hinge feels good. So this is not the kind of thing that you would normally find in a $400 laptop. Like, if you buy a $400 laptop, you're generally ending up with something that is very plasticky, kind of cheap feeling, No, I don't want to add I want to get this going before we go much further so that it can do its, hey, we're just getting set up for you. Wow, I don't know why this wasn't done out of the box, but you know, like when you finish installing an update and then it's like, you're done, and it takes you to the login screen, and then you get there and you log in and it's like, hey, please wait while we finish up. Like, no, finish up before. Don't finish up now. You told me you were done. Sorry, let me just get my Wi-Fi password in here. I'm just gonna throw in some extra motions so that hopefully you guys can't reverse engineer my password here, because that would be really, really inconvenient. Really inconvenient for me. I would have to take a whole, probably about 6 minutes or so and log into my interface and then change that. All right, now we have some important setup to do. Surely you couldn't have done that before. Anyway, let's have a look at what we've got in terms of accessories before we go much further here. Ooh, I have a little bonus for people who are watching live. Microsoft sent over a $25 Windows gift card. Presumably this is for the you can't have it, Jake. Jake's like reaching in his pocket trying to get whatever he was planning to do ready there. So I'm gonna, no, you can't have it, Jake. This is gonna be for the viewers.
They're gonna be able to see it.
This is for the viewers. They're gonna be able to see it. They're gonna be able to see it with our high quality, stupid red camera live stream here. So presumably you can buy crap in the Windows Store with this. It actually comes in that Windows S mode where you can only get things out of the store. Oh, who can redeem it first? Let's find out. And it's gone. And it's gone. So hopefully someone can get their hands on that 25 bucks, because I don't really buy stuff in the Windows Store. Then watch me like get to some point where I'm like setting this up and I'm like, oh crap, I really need something from the Windows Store right about now. I think you can make it out. You can make it out. You can make it out. We got this. So as you would expect, for 400 bucks, even though you're getting a machine with surprising build quality, you're not getting much in terms of accessories. In fact, that's all there was. There was these little pieces of paper, which is like showing you where the volume button is and stuff, and then how the hinge works and all that, because you need a lot of help with your new Surface Go. And then this, you get a power adapter. So this is the first Surface that I'm aware of actually that charges over USB Type-C. That's pretty cool. Oh wait, oh crap. Okay, as far as I know, it does charge over USB Type-C, and we're gonna test that, but they went and they included the Surface, the Surface, what's that thing called? Surface Connect connector instead. So I'm gonna pop this out and let's go ahead and plug this bad boy in. Yeah, I will try the Type-C thing on the stream, because, okay, so the Surface Connect finally has an adapter now that you can buy. You can get a little hub that turns this connector, it's like this really bulky thing though, into a single USB 3.1 Type-C. So that's one option, or my understanding is that this Type-C adapter will work. And I've got a couple of Type-C dongles ready, so I can try those out. I'm just gonna go ahead and use an offline account. They really don't want you doing this anymore. They're like, yeah, are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, my name is Linus. My name is Linus, and I'm gonna use this PC. No, I don't want a password. Okay, cool. Just, sure. I'm gonna let Cortana be my personal assistant. Sure, whatever. Tilt forward? Is that what you like? Yeah. Sure. All right, cool. Almost done. We're polishing things up. Sure, okay, thanks for that. Actually, this is a good opportunity for us to check out I/O. So the USB-C that I mentioned before, we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack. We've got this dock that requires, unfortunately, a bulky, not to mention $80 adapter in order to turn it into anything other than charging for this if you wanted to just turn it into another Type-C port, though I'm very grateful Microsoft included this one. Wish it was Thunderbolt, but again, this is a $400 to $550 machine, so we can't get too greedy. We've got their magnetic keyboard connector down here. We've actually got a keyboard. We'll plug that in after. Micro SD expansion, which now you can get micro SDs up to 512 gigs. So that actually gives you a very reasonable amount of storage expansion. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I do want to check out the webcam because apparently this machine has Windows Hello facial recognition for sign-in, which is a fantastic feature, one that I wish every Windows laptop had. Like every single one. It is hands down the fastest, most convenient way to sign into a Windows machine. All right, so this is the signature type cover. Let's go ahead and pop this bad boy open, assuming that I can figure out how exactly it is that they sealed. Sourced from Italy, Alcantara. Alcantara? I think it's Alcantara. Alcantara? Okay, I said it right the first time. I've had to clarify this multiple times because like all the car people are always like, you idiot. It's Alcantara. I'm like, okay, all right. Because apparently this is a material that car people are very, very intimately familiar with.
Nice.
But
It's only in really expensive cars, though.
but computer people have only been treated to it by Microsoft. I'm not aware of anyone else who's really used it. Just a moment. So, wow, that was great timing, actually. Very nice. So, okay, the magnetic docking mechanism feels, ooh, wow, that's nice. Just as strong as we've come to expect from a Surface device. It's really easy to pop on there. Not a single time has it managed to be misaligned. So that's great. Really nice to see. Now we can go ahead and pop the kickstand open. Same thing, this mechanism feels really good. I mean, even going back to the Surface RT, like that was the first time we saw what was intended to be a low-cost Surface device. Microsoft has done a really good job of not cheaping out on what makes a device a Surface. So it's $400, but it still feels good. It still has a nice high quality hinge in it because that's the kind of stuff that breaks on a cheap laptop. That's the kind of stuff that drives you crazy. Or I mean, you know, back to the car thing. That's the kind of thing that breaks on a cheap car. Like my Civic, the engine I think is going to run literally forever. But even when I got it, which was about 10 years ago now. Okay. So even when I got it about 10 years ago, the fabric door finishes were already peeling off because of the cheap glue in the factory. Like it's that little crappy stuff that starts to break down on a cheap commodity device that makes it so you have to replace it because, quite frankly, compared to the Atom type processor that was in the last generation of the Gpd Pocket, I've actually got it sitting over there because it's been also in Windows Update hell. Compared to the Atom-based processors that we found in super compact machines of yesteryear, these Kaby Lake-based chips are actually fast enough for a lot of basic tasks. So let's have I really want to see what we're going to get out of this thing in terms of turbo speed, because it's a 6-watt chip, but configurable down to 4.5 watts, I think, whereas this guy is a 7-watt chip, and this is not a good indicator. So I actually had assumed that it was simply because Intel's ARC site was incomplete. Ooh, what is it, the 4415Y? Yeah, that's right. I had assumed it was because Intel's ARC site was incomplete that it didn't have turbo information, but it occurs to me now that this is a Pentium branded chip, and it might not have turbo boost. Okay, why I hate Bing in a nutshell, and my apologies to anyone from Microsoft watching this, but Bing is bad and it should feel bad. Okay, in its defense, I typoed this. I put in 44125Y instead of 4415Y. But I pretty much guarantee Google's gonna get it. No. No. Whoa. Google just got beat by Bing. Okay. So Google assumed by ARC, and I meant Intel's processor identifier lookup thing, they assumed I meant ARC, so I ended up with a bunch of drilling companies with a 44125 zip code. Bing, by contrast, ended up with ARC Survival Evolved, some other random crap, like PDFs. Okay, so Bing does return some useless garbage sometimes, but it managed to return some results for ARC, even though they are for a different model. So, you know what? I'm declaring that a victory for Bing. I had meant to demonstrate that Bing was bad, but actually it did better. All right, let's get the right thing looked up here. So $161. That's interesting. So this processor actually costs about $100 more, even though the 8 gig 128 configuration only costs about $50 more than this. So what you're paying extra for in the case of something like a Surface Go looks like a bigger display. It's actually, yep, IPS display. Looks pretty nice. Let's go ahead and crank the brightness and see what we're looking at here. Actually, that's not too shabby at all. So you can see it's quite a bit brighter than the Pocket 2. So you're paying for a bigger display. You're paying for a just plain larger device. There's more materials cost that goes into it. There's more packaging. All of those things add up. And then you're also paying for, actually it's speakers, stereo speakers. Looks like it's nice to have. This has only a single speaker that's coming from kind of under the keyboard here somewhere. And then I want to have a look at how the YouTube playback experience is. This keyboard is really, actually, wow. My initial impressions of it are absolutely great, considering how low profile it is. I actually haven't used a Surface, like a type cover, extensively in quite some time, because Alex has been our laptop reviews editor for, man, I guess it must be well over a year now. But it is amazing how much tactile feel they have managed to squeeze into such a device. Oh, I did hit the B there. Oh, and I did hit the Y there. But I think with some practice, it is a little tight. Like if you've got big hands, you might struggle with this a little bit. I mean, just to put it in context, here's sort of a more typical Ultrabook. So this is a Blade Stealth. Let's put this on top of it. This is a very, very compact keyboard layout. Here, we're just going to put this down here. There you go. That's a nice look at it. So from the, yeah. Stream's going down?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like internet. Did you unplug anything?
No, I don't think so. Well, where's your cable go to? It goes to here. Yeah. No, you're still live.
I think our internet just went down.
Our internet's down? That
Wait, hold on.
could be a problem. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. Yes! Success. Okay, so if we were to align based on, let's say, the tab, okay? So the edge of the tab is right about there. Your enter key looks like about where you'd expect your quotation to be. So it's going to take some practice. See, I've got quite small hands, but even for me, my fingers are almost right up against each other in order to sit on the home row, with only my pinky having what I would consider to be a suitable amount of spacing. Practice makes perfect for anything like that, though. I don't necessarily see it being a huge concern. What I am a little bit worried about, though, is the performance. I'm gonna grab Cinebench here. Honestly, I'll tell you guys right now, the reason that we had decided to do a stream of this today was, one, Fridays are usually WAN show, and so we don't have a normal release, so they're a good time to put up like a sponsored piece or a live stream of something that we otherwise might not have covered. And two, I wasn't sure if we were going to do a full review of this thing, but I'm actually getting to the point now where I am pretty impressed with it, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know if you'd like us to spend a good couple weeks with this thing and really put it through the paces. So far, the build quality is what really sets itself apart. Now, one thing that's a little frustrating, not just about the Surface Go, but about a lot of devices like it, is that you've got this really low advertised starting price, but I almost feel like it's a little bit deceptive, because no one should actually spend $400 on a Surface Go.
The chat's getting spammed with, yes, please, full review.
People want a full review? Okay, all right. Yeah, we can probably arrange that. So I find it a little bit deceptive because if you look over here, you've got a couple of SKUs and there's something that's kind of missing to the average consumer who's shopping for a Surface Go. They might look at that and go, well, I only need 64 gigs of storage. I'm just going to put a micro SD in for additional storage anyway. But what's not mentioned here, are we down? Is this our